Hey guys, it's Crystal and I'm back again today to do a video on frag words broken down. This idea came because one of my friends that had started watching my videos was asking me what I'm talking about. She's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I see the fragrances, they sound nice. Some of the ways you've described them and the vibes that you've discussed really interest me, but I don't understand some of the words that are being used when you're speaking, as well as some of the other frag heads in the community are speaking. I'll go over some of the most popular ones in layman's term to break it down for you what it means. The first one I'm going to go over is the types of perfumes people are talking about, because that's a big thing in the community. We're going to start with designer brand. Those are perfumes made by fashion brands. So think Calvin Klein, Gucci, Dior, etc. I mean, that list can go on and on. However, they generally make clothes, purses, shoes, as well as perfume. Niche perfumes. So what are niche? Niche does not always mean expensive, doesn't always mean overpriced, however it can. But the meaning by niche is perfumes that are composed and by companies that are dedicated primarily to fragrance and perfume. So companies that are dedicated strictly to that would be like a Penhaligon, a Byredo, Le Labo, Mason, Francis, Kirk de Jean. There's tons more. Generally, these are sold in like department stores, boutiques, as well as online. Next up, celebrity perfumes. Now, obviously, this goes without saying. These are celebrity signed contracts with perfumers. They work with houses and then they associate their name with the signature perfume. Okay, so example would be Beyonce. She has Beyonce Heat. There's Ariana Grande. She's got Cloud. You know them because they're celebrities and they're popular and they have perfumes as well. Let's go into what people are discussing. So when I'm listing to you, oh, it smells like vanilla and it has praline and jasmine, this, that, the third, we are discussing notes. So this is obviously a descriptor to help you when trying to figure out if this is a scent that you may like. I usually discuss top notes, middle notes, base notes. So let me give you a description as to what those are. So top notes are the scents you detect upon spraying the perfume. Okay, so your first impression of what the perfume is. So is it lemony? Is there lavender in it? You know, typical notes. They usually last the first 5 to 15 minutes upon spraying. Okay, so the middle notes are the scent that comes after the top notes. So that is the heart of the actual fragrance itself. It has a strong influence of the base notes. This usually will be pronounced the first 20 minutes to 60 minutes of spraying. Obviously, these numbers are just to give you an idea. It varies from perfume to perfume, skin chemistry to skin chemistry. Okay, so base notes and middle notes together are the main theme of the perfume itself. They bring depth to the fragrance. So they last the longest on your skin, and that's what you remember the most. So it would be typically like an amber, vanilla, sandalwood, a musk. So think that's what the base notes is. That's the base. That's the bread and butter of the actual perfume. So projection, you hear people say, oh, it projects, or it has a moderate projection, a high projection, a loud projection. What are they talking about? Projection is the length your perfume radiates and how far a perfume pushes through the air. So when you spray it and someone's walking by, are they able to smell it within just a couple of 1 foot of you, 2 foot of you, 3 foot of you? That's what it means. Sillage. Now you're gonna hear people say, oh, it has a nice sillage. That is the trail the perfume leaves behind. Okay, so the smell that lingers around as you move. So picture when you go into an elevator, you step inside and you smell a perfume scent and no one's there. That is sillage. Now, longevity. People, obviously this is going to be easy. That's how long the perfume lasts on the skin, how long you can smell the fragrance on your skin. And again, that varies person to person, skin to skin. There's tons of factors as to why something can have specific longevity. Let's break it down further. So you'll hear people discuss where they spray, so that they overspray, that they underspray. However, most people will put perfume on their pulse points. So pulse points are locations on the body where blood vessels are closest to the skin. So think your neck, your wrist, your inner elbow, the back of your knees, the cleavage, your wrists. Did I say that? Places that warm up, places your veins are sitting and will warm up and radiate and push your scent through. That is the pulse points, and that is where you should aim to place your perfume to get the longevity. People talk about perfume, eau de parfum, eau de toilette, etc. They are talking pretty much the strength of the perfume. So parfum, you're not going to hear that many people talk about perfume because it's very expensive. It's 20% or more concentration of oil. It's the highest fragrance concentration. So it usually lasts between 6 to 8 hours at minimum, but it's very expensive. The most popular on the market is eau de parfum and eau de toilette. So eau de parfum is the second highest concentration, with oil concentrations between 15 and 20%. They can work usually between 4 to 5 hours in terms of longevity. However, I have tons in my collection that do a lot more than that as well. Eau de toilette. So that's fragrant concentrations between 5 to 15%. They're generally cheaper than EDP, and they usually last between 2 to 3 hours. So that typically is scents that you would wear more in the summer, the spring summer, where you don't have to be pushing through, going through layers. It lasts on the body as your skin warms up. They're light. Also, body sprays are interchangeably, well, under what I would say is a eau de toilette. However, those are the ones you get from like Bath and Body Works, or like the Calgons, or the Victoria's Secret splashes. Those just last, I mean, to be honest, those don't even last for an hour to me, but they are there. That's another one on the list. So gourmand. So you're gonna hear people talk about, this is gourmand, this is fresh, this is woody, this was floral. I'm just gonna break it down to the most popular gourmand. Gourmand are edible notes. So think chocolate, vanilla, candy, honey. They're usually the top and middle notes of any fragrance. Also, you'll hear people talk about fresh scents. Those are clean, bright scents. Think citrus, think herby scents, think something clean. So sage, bergamot, grapefruit, those type of scents. That's what they're trying to describe. You're gonna hear people speak about woody notes. So they're warm and opulent fragrances, stuff like incense, sandalwood, patchouli, notes such as those. So vetiver, heavy, strong, depth. You're gonna hear people talk about floral. So we know what florals are. They are fresh cut flowers. So think rose, jasmine, orange blossom, notes such as those. Oriental, that's my favorite. Those are rich and exotic scents. So they're opulent, they're heady, they're herbs and spices, dry, powdery, resin notes. So think vanilla, myrrh, and these are also terms you're going to hear interchangeably. Flankers are newly created perfumes that share molecular DNA to an existing perfume. So think of a very popular perfume. So I'm going to go with one of my favorites, Alien by Mugler. He has many flankers to the Alien, which is one of my favorite, that are Alien Absolute. It has the similar DNA, however, it's basically like a remix to what was the original favorite top selling perfume. Blind Buy. Okay, now you're gonna hear that tons. Now first of all, you would have heard it a lot, but now you're gonna hear it even more because we're in the panorama and people aren't able to get to the stores. So when people are saying they're blind buying, they're saying they're buying the fragrance before they have tested it on their skin or smelled it in person. That can be a dangerous game. However, if you're a risk taker like myself and you do a little research online, you watch reviews, you have an idea of what you like, blind buying can also be fun. However, I don't suggest it, especially if you're just new in the game. Dry down. Okay, you'll hear people mention that. That's the final hours of the fragrance, and it's usually the top notes and the middle notes have disappeared and it's just what's left of the base notes. Top words that I hear in the frag community, and what people are probably like that aren't in the frag community are like, what are they talking about? Okay, if there's any other words that you think you hear all the time that I didn't mention, go ahead and leave that down below. If you liked this video and found it very informative, please give it a thumbs up. Please share, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you guys are staying safe and have a good day.